How's your ePresence? This show is produced by Business Radio X. I am Mark Galvin, your host. We are coming to you live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. And we are thrilled you are here. Here we are back at Business Radio X for our live show on the third Thursday at 3, my favorite time of the month. It's always good to be back here with my good friends at Business Radio X and Mike Salmon. Mike, thanks for letting us come and spend some time with you, my friend. We're glad you are here to discover more ways to solve some marketing issues. We want to bring really the answers to the burning questions you may have about digital marketing, and today it'll be a little bit about cybersecurity and a little bit of marketing to that. Every show we do is teed up with how do I, and we try to fill in the blank. We're creating a library of content so that you can always go back to our YouTube channel, whatever our channels are, where we host all these great videos, and get some good answers. So I'm going to give you some simple examples of shows we just did. Here's one: how to find the best SEO solution. Now, if you want a CEO solution, we can help you with that too. But this one was how to find the best SEO solution. Or how about this one? How to use music in your business. In the same show, we talked about how being a DJ can teach you about business. So lots of interesting stuff out there. If you would like for us to hit a topic, let us know. We would love to get that information from you. We'll find some expert that can speak to whatever topic you're interested in, or maybe you know of a guest that would be great on our show. Send it to us. You can hit us on any of our social media channels or right here on the show today in the chat channel. Our handle everywhere is ePresence ME. So it's ePresence ME because it's all about you. ePresence me. Or, again, right here in the show's chat box, we can see your comments, and we'll be sure to track down those guests. If you're tuning in live, submit questions. We got it all figured out. Last month when I was here, I had a little problem trying to get the comments up. Well, this month I've got it figured out. So if you drop any comments in right here, wherever you're watching, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, we will answer those questions. We'll throw it right to our guests. Now, today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about cybersecurity. That is a hot topic today. I'm telling you what, we have the ultimate expert here in the studio to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about how and why to build a networking group. How do those two go together? Stay tuned. You'll figure that out. In the future, when you want to get back to our show, simply search for ePresence, how to create a new website in 2 hours. That's the wrong line. It will be more like this. ePresence, when you're searching for us, search ePresence, how to beef up your cybersecurity. Of course, we want you to subscribe, so wherever you're listening, subscribe on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button there at the bottom of the screen. That way you know when we go live. Okay, so what do we got for you today? Let me tell you about our guest today. Our guest is Bill Courtright with mPowered IT and a group called SPIRE. So he does two things. Here's what he's all about. He is a husband, father. Notice this is what comes first. He's a husband and father and business development professional with a passion for innovation. He's driven to make people aware of technology solutions and advancements that matter. He has built his career on bridging the gap between where individuals and organizations were and where they ultimately want to be. Finding impact together has long been his philosophy for collaborative and results-driven relationships and businesses looking for experience and poised for rapid growth. So, I'll tell you, we're going to bring Bill on here in a second, but I will tell you this. You guys know how important it is when we are bringing in wonderful guests, and he is an outstanding guest. Remember this. We want you to ask questions. So if you want to ask Bill a question, go ahead and slap it right there in the comments bar. I will throw it straight at him because your questions are going to be better than mine. So ask those questions. If you're watching, if you are, nope, don't read that. I've already done that line. All right, you know what? Enough of that. Let's meet Bill. Bill, how the heck are you?
I'm well. Mark, thanks for having me.
Good to see you. I don't know what I did pre-show. I took my script and I shuffled it and lost everything. So I'm back on track here. Bill, you are someone that I know from networking groups in Atlanta. Not only are you and I in a morning networking group, but you also have a program that you've launched that we'll get into, and the name of that is SPIRE. But in your day job, if I may, your day job is mPowered IT. What do you guys do?
We are a company that essentially removes potential stress and aggravation from small business owners that can be caused by IT uncertainty specifically.
Oh, that sounds like, well, in IT, one of those things that scares the hell out of everybody today.
It does. But I really do seek to remove that stigma in the first 5 minutes of any conversation.
I seek to remove that. I love it.
Yeah. I think technology, the way I like to frame it is technology is designed to enhance the human experience. It's a collaborative tool. It's an efficiency module. It's designed to make things safer, faster, better, more efficient. And when you look at technology in that respect, it's really a human essence amplifier. It really takes that which you're trying to accomplish and make it more efficient. And efficiency is really the business that I'm in. There's a couple things I like to discuss with our clients. Security is certainly top of mind. As of late, we know why. We'll get into that. Efficiency for some individuals, to the degree that they can operate efficiently, is not only great for their customer, but it's an outstanding show of support for their employees.
Sure.
Collaboration. You know, the technology that's available today, a lot of which was developed specifically to bring people together that aren't together. We have businesses operating across state lines. We have businesses operating throughout the world. And to the degree that you can work together in an environment, in a network environment where everyone feels like they're a part of the project.
Connected. Yeah.
It's some of the most gratifying things we do.
That is so cool. I love that. Well, I'm going to pigeonhole you, man, today. I hate to do that. Right?
Sorry.
We got 30 minutes, so we're not going to recreate the world, regrettably. But I do want to ask you more about that cyber side, the security side, because it's such a hot topic, right? With everything that happened with Colonial Pipelines, was it JBS, the meat manufacturer, just went through an attack. Now, as a small business owner, I'll be honest, I'm not really worried about having a ransomware attack on me. I'm not that big of a target. But I do know that I ought to be worried, maybe that's not the right word. I mean, you're trying to relieve stress. So in your effort to relieve my stress as a small business owner, what would you tell me to focus on first?
Well, I mean, you're right. When people think of security, they think of ransomware. They think of the potential for loss, whether it be the loss of the ability to operate. There's recently been a concentration on some of these commoditized e-crime actors to essentially leverage reputation. And the way they do that is they hold hostage not only your business, but the data of your entire customer base. And a lot of the reasons why individuals or organizations will pay a ransom or will pay to get their data back is for fear that if it's made known that someone else's data, credit card information, personal information, social security numbers, medical information, financial information, legal information, if that makes its way into the public record, so to speak, or on a chat board or bulletin board somewhere,
or on the dark web.
Exactly right. And that could be extremely detrimental to an organization's reputation. And as you know, Mark, when we're in business, it's our word, it's our reputation that comes first. And 100%. Most of my clients, yes, they're concerned with ransomware, but what they really want to know is they're doing right by their employees and they're doing right by their customers.
Sure. And employees are a big part of this too, because there's a lot of data. McDonald's, take for example, they just lost a bunch of data, and it was really the employees that were impacted, not the customers, so to speak.
I think really when we are operating with let's say a 10 to 200 employee organization, I'm working with an independent business owner. It is our belief that IT and IT systems are designed for the employee. Right. If you're CEO,
you're starting there.
I do, because I believe a CEO and an entire C-suite's primary objective is to serve the employees.
Got it.
It is the employees of a well-run organization which will ultimately serve the customers.
Right.
So if you're thinking as an executive panel, what can we do to better serve our employees? Well, one thing you'll find if you ask them the question is they want to operate in a safe and efficient environment.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see any spinning beach balls. They want to make sure that when they hit print, it prints at the printer that's closest to their desk. When they're on a telephone call, they want to know that call is going to be clear and that it doesn't get dropped.
Right.
They want to make sure that their connection is strong, whether they're wired up or on Wi-Fi. They want to make sure that they're operable anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're competing today. If you're seeking talent, you're competing with these organizations that are operable in any place. Their employees are free to go and have their office wherever an internet connection exists, whether that be by the pool, by the beach, on the golf course. It doesn't matter. They want to be served so that they can feel that quality of life at least is considered by their employer.
So the first thing that's important is to sit back and look at your employee, the systems that serve them first, versus, and I will tell you, I think a lot of business owners would do this. The pivot is, how do I serve my customer first? Serve employees, and then you can cascade down to the customer.
Well, in most organizations, and I think yours would be similar to this, who's ultimately interacting with the customer?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't know many. I've never interacted with a CEO of any company I've done business with.
Right.
I'm always interacting with customer service or HR or someone who
chat box.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about why employees, in my opinion, are important, specifically as it relates to cybersecurity. You can have all the layers of security in place. You can have an outstanding security appliance, otherwise known as a firewall. You can run email encryption. You can run VPNs throughout your office space. But ultimately, the weakest link or the area of penetration for any network is going to be that individual.
Right.
And it's that individual that has to have some awareness behind the power that they have to click something or open.
And that's education, right?
And that's exactly right. The real value that we bring to an organization outside of first awareness and what we provide for them and the support and the executive level oversight and the counsel and the IT department that we have to address and remedy all and any concerns. Well, we also come in and we take a proactive approach to make sure that the employees understand their role. And their role is they are the first line of defense for that organization.
Wow,
and if they care about their organization, because their organization cared about them, they're going to be a much better soldier for your security.
Are you running an IT department or you're running a coaching division?
The thing is, we're all in the business of people, right?
I love that. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not joking. I think that's amazing. Because
would you run through a wall for me?
Now I will.
Oh, there you go.
There is so much here and I do this constantly. Every time I get an email that's phishing for information from me, I send it to my team. Mm-hmm. And I say, here's an example, another phishing, and I strip out all the links in it to make sure that there's no link hit by, but this is really happening. It's happening to us right now. There's some, and people can figure out our email addresses, right? Mm-hmm. There's a formulaic way that most businesses build their emails, and I'm a customer focused org. I want my emails to be easy to determine. So our folks can receive those emails. So they need to know that you can train people. Your organization will train people train staff on, okay, you're on the system. This is what you can expect. Don't make a mistake here. Look for this, or give them an outlet. I'm not sure. I hear something. I'm not sure. What do I do with this?
That's right.
They need to be able to send that to someone to say, this is safe, go for it, or thanks for sharing that. We'll make sure we block that IP.
That's exactly right. And we are serving individuals. Technology is the tool that we use to perform our end game. But ultimately, we take a lot of pride in the training, in the understanding, in the communication, in the consistent touch points that we give the employees of an organization. And if you were to talk to our engineers or our project managers, the strategic engagement managers of our organization, they're working with frontline people.
Wow.
We're brought into an organization. The decision is made somewhere up the food chain. We understand that. But ultimately, once we're there, everyone wants to know, how are the employees? Yeah. How is the system?
Yep.
What are they learning? Are they better today than when you got here? Mm-hmm. Are they addressed with respect? John Mammon, the founder and CEO of our organization, the gentleman that I work for and really admire, he's an author. And although he's been a technologist for 35 years, when he wrote his book on customer service. And he understood what technology was and what it was not. And it's ultimately a means to an end. If people could do what we could do without us great. But the fact of the matter is we live in an environment where technology controls everything.
Yeah.
And it has to work for you. It cannot be a burden. It cannot be troublesome. It has to work. And we're at a point now where our business model has gone from a reactive model to a proactive model. And I'm seeing small business evaluate, is the potential cost of us being down greater than what a proactive managed services provider would charge us on a monthly basis to make sure that we're never down. Now, cybersecurity is just one way that your computer system or your network infrastructure could go down. There's a lot of things that can happen, but security is top of mind, as you mentioned, and it's important. But everything we do is customer focused, employee focused. It's easily understood. And we really take all the stress and aggravation away. We exist to worry about your IT department so you don't have to.
I love it.
Cybersecurity is obviously top of mind because of what recently happened.
Yeah. Actually, it could drive you some extra business, quite frankly.
It's a conversation starter for sure.
Yeah. All right. I got another cyber question that I want to get into SPIRE.
Cool.
I have a need to connect with my clients and let them share data with me. And I don't want to just share data through email. I'll be able to share data. I really want to give them a space where they can drop content. And that's really, on the social media side, if you want me to share content on your behalf, I just need for you to drop it someplace. Now, in the past, we've used variety of services to give our client. In fact, we have gone to our client and said, we'll use whatever you want. Well, we've found out that's a bad idea. So I'd like to get your opinion. What would be a good solution to offer our clients, say, here's a space, I'm going to give you a link, and it'll be a link. It's not going to be, they'll go in their browser and they'll be able to drop things into it. Where do you recommend that we look for that kind of solution?
So secure file sharing is a popular line of conversation when we're dealing with an organization, specifically like yours, agencies, ad brokers, people who are sharing a lot of data with their clients. We need a secure environment.
And the secure environment, and there's one more thing that's important here, and that is the file size. Can't always go through email. And I just want to identify that for our listeners. Size is a big deal. I can't always send it through email. So good.
And we've iterated, right? I mean, we remember when...
What was that word?
We've iterated. Right?
Iterated. I was like, I'm going to have to get my dictionary.
No, but think about it. Like, I remember when the first time Google said, the file's too large. And then we had to come up with ways to share files. And now there's this shared place, and ShareSync or SharePoint is obviously one that we recommend.
So, we use SharePoint. So you think it's a good spot.
I do. And a lot of this is dependent upon, the environment. Like what infrastructure do you have in place? What software systems are you using? Google Workspace, Microsoft 365. There are preferred vendors. There are preferred relationships within those systems. A lot of it has to do with best practices or good practices. We have a belief that you love every customer as they are, and you make recommendations as you get to know them better, so that once you understand what's important to them and what's important to their employees and their customers, we can then come from a place of understanding, and we can say, listen, based on your workflow, based on that, like, for example, if we would have seen how you were sharing, let's say you were using OneDrive, or let's say you were using email or
Dropbox.
Text or whatever, Dropbox. So we might say, listen, based on the what's in the information that's being shared, whether it's sensitive or not, efficiency, expediency of the file upload, we would recommend XYZ product.
Sure.
And Microsoft, obviously has preferred vendors in that space. We use SharePoint. I think you use as well. And it works incredibly well. And once again, there's security comes in layers, right? So it's not, you're off to a good start by having a reputable, safe place to share files, provided that that's behind a secure firewall. So we got to have a security appliance in place. We want to make sure that there's VPNs. We want to make sure that everything is in its work tight compartment.
Good. All right. I feel a little better there. I really do. There's had a conversation with a client just yesterday. I was hoping to sell them, and I did. And the client and I were talking. I said, we use SharePoint. We're going to give you a link, and it is secure because of the reputation of Microsoft. And his comment was great. He said, well, quite frankly, I don't care if it's secure. And I said, so why not? He said, well, everything I give you, I want you to push on social media anyway. So let them let them take it. I was kind of, I said, that's a good perspective. I like that. All right. I want to shift. I'm going to totally shift gears because I want to shift to talk about SPIRE. Tell our audience what SPIRE is.
So SPIRE is a community that we created almost a year ago. It was late last summer that the idea took a life. I've been no stranger to personal and professional development organizations, referral marketing, referral engines, referral syndicates, networking groups, networking groups, relationships over everything. The idea that a forum should exist for driven and ambitious professionals to gather consistently, I believe is important. And I'm relatively new to Atlanta. My wife, 2 boys, and I moved up here in the spring of 17. And as we were assimilating, we were looking for a community. We were looking for a group of individuals that we could relate to. And there was the Rotaries, and there was the Chambers, and there was the Roswell Incs. and Nexts and Power Cores and BNIs and the ones that most people know. But there really wasn't one that was doing everything that I was looking for in one place. And since I had some experience in building community in the past, with the intent of bettering myself and bettering my business and eventually I feel like we get called to better our community and actually work as a collective to do good things. And I'm a believer that doing good is good for business. And I think people look at us and they come to an understanding of what makes us tick as professionals and as business owners. And I think that especially the younger millennials and Gen Z and Zennials, and I think they're much more cognizant of the type of person that they're doing business with and what's important to the organization and the work that they do. And I wanted to create an environment where I could learn and grow in that regard. I had no real understanding of what I needed to do, and I'd always modeled professionals that were achieving a level of success that I would have preferred to have in my life. And as a fan of modeling and modeling in business, not runway, I wanted to be around people that were doing well. And the more successful the entrepreneur, the more successful the professional, the more time they had, and the more legacy minded they were, and the more interested in sharing they were. And when I had asked some of these people that were, for lack of a better term, crushing it in business, if they were interested in attending a gathering of heart-centered driven professionals, they all said absolutely. And so SPIRE came from that idea that we believe that a forum should exist to gather heart-centered, driven professionals on a regular basis to glean best practices and give and receive support and share ideas, and then collectively, serve some causes that we hold dear. And that was really just the kind of premise. SPIRE is actually an acronym. It came of
past that. What is the acronym?
Yeah, so it's the S is service, and it's service, proximity, intention, reciprocity, and excellence. And those are tenets of full disclosure. I have a co-founder, Brigida Hofferly. She owns NLP Atlanta, and she's just a magnificent woman, and was very instrumental in getting me off the couch last summer when things were easy to get. It was easy to get sedentary and become a little apathetic.
Yeah. And I think apathy breeds apathy.
Yeah. And it's interestingly enough, when you're around driven people, you get excited easily.
Yeah, you do.
So that's kind of how it happened. And, I had been speaking for a while, and I was kind of known as the proximity and reciprocity guy. And I just believe that, we've heard all the cliches, you're the average of the 5 people you associate with most. If you got 4 broke friends, you're going to be a 5th. If your checkbook average is the average of your 3 strongest relationships. And these things I had heard, and I drank the Kool-Aid, Mark, at a young age, and I believed that I could achieve anything I wanted in business or in life based on the people I associated with and the books I read.
Right.
And that was Greg Reed said that at a conference to me back about 10 years ago. And I said, well, those are things I could do. I could control the people I surround myself with, and I can control the books or the podcasts I listen to and read. And
this is a good one for the record.
Yeah, so I put it is. It's getting better by the minute. So I believe that, and I subscribe to it. And then after having just an amazing run in business and in life, I became a believer, and then I became almost an evangelist for it. I said, listen, we just need to bring great people together. And the interesting thing is, it's not something that we facilitate. It's really not about us at all. It's about putting people in close proximity and then just letting them do what they naturally do, which driven, heart-centered professionals know what to do in that environment.
So I got to tell you, I'm going to, only because of time, because we're at 3:25, and there's so much more I want to tease out.
Yeah,
but
cool.
The reason I wanted to ask you about SPIRE is, number one, it's great for you to share a little information on it, and it meets the first Thursday of every month. Is that right?
It does.
Typically, I know
Typically
next
does. It's an
different.
early Thursday of the month. If the first of the month is a Thursday, we'll usually move it to the second. Labor Day, Memorial Day causes wrinkles, but for the most part, it's an early Thursday of the month.
All right. What I think is interesting is that the organization is growing really fast. And in fact, I had a conversation with someone who's trying to do a lunch and learn, and he gets 10 people and he can't seem to get past that. And he commented, he says, yeah, we just want to give them value. And, we don't need to provide any more than that. And I said to him, I need for you to meet Bill Courtright because you're doing that. You're giving value, but you're not leading with, I'm giving you value. You're leading with, I want heart-centered, what's the word you use?
Heart-centered driven professionals or entrepreneurs.
So you say it to me, that's who we want. And I go, oh, I may not be that, but I want to be that.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm not quite there yet and I show up, I'm going to show up and try to understand what that means and give it a different way because I'm curious. What does that mean? Because I would say I'd much rather be around people that I think are interesting, that I think are engaged, that I think are not just in it for them, they're also in it for the community. And that's pretty awesome. I mean, this is not a kumbaya type of thing that I'm talking about. It's, there's an energy that comes. Now, this room has some pretty cool energy. So you've done something. And I would say there's a leadership component that you bring to it. And you do say, it's not about me. It's not about me. And it's not about you, but it is about the messaging that you're sharing. Why I wanted to bring this up is if you're a leader of an organization, if you are trying to grow, if you got a Rotary Club in Atlanta, you're trying to grow, or wherever, Rotary all over the world, right? Or a networking group, the connection to that group, the ability for that group to help other members in an overt, in a way that's caring, is going to make that group more powerful. Now, I'll tell you, you and I are members of Brookhaven Power Corp. It has organically turned into that type of group. This entire group, there's a social event, everybody's showing up. Yeah. And that's the reason this group is great. It's not because referrals are passed. They are. It's about all these other things that we as emotional beings tap into.
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing to SPIRE is unbelievable. It's fantastic.
Thank you. And it has kind of taken off. I checked yesterday. I think we're at about 175 in the community in less than a year. Yeah. Completely grown organically. And you're right. There is an energy, and emotion is important. And there is a magnetism that happens when a certain type of person, when certain type of people gather, and
they're drawn in other.
They are, and there are, to your point, the leader, the organizer, the aspiring entrepreneur, just to go there and to see how a meeting is run, just to go to see how we spend a lot of time not only cognizant of the value we bring, because we do bring in speakers. Listen, you're not going to get a lady or a gentleman running a 100-employee business to leave their house on a Thursday night and gather for 2 to 3 hours in the Buckhead Village District just to have a martini.
That's probably true.
They need to feel that it's a worthwhile spend of time.
And pulling them out of their families, whatever is important to them. You bet.
So we're cognizant of the value we bring by way of instruction, but we're also extremely aware of the energy of the room.
Yep.
And people do feel differently when they're around open-minded, ambitious, forward-thinking, can-do-minded people, and that is as contagious as anything. And for me, it's the most fun thing I do all month, and I'm invigorated and inspired and continually motivated by the people that come up to me every meeting and tell me what had happened in the 30 days since I've seen them last. Right. And it has nothing to do with anything I said, did, or advised that they read or listen to. It's the relationships, the lunches, the meetings, the conversations, the clients that they've met in that 30 days that were directly result from the people they met at the previous meeting. Right. And once that happens, once you can quantify in real dollars and cents or customer acquisition or growth, it becomes a fixture.
All right, we got to wrap. We're running out of time. Actually, we're technically out of time, but I love this. We could do this for an hour. I think there's a lot of things. I would love to pick apart SPIRE in a way that's very strategic, because there's a book here. I think you need to write a book, and this is the way you do it. And it's that passion piece starts. I want to tell you, it's the passion that makes it great. All right, where do you want people to find you? Where do you want people to go to track you down?
So you can find me at WC Courtright on Twitter. mPowered IT is on Twitter as well. We also have a Facebook page. I'm Bill Courtright on Facebook. Okay. SPIRE is spire.atl on Instagram. spire-atl.com is our website. SPIRE on Facebook as well. You can join that group. It's a public group. We meet once a month. We're readily available. empoweredit.com is our website. All the links will be in the show notes for you, and we look forward to connecting with you. There's a connect page on every page. So let us know how we can support you, and we'll give you 100% of ourselves.
Bill, thanks for being here, man.
Good stuff. It's been a pleasure. This is fun.
I love it, and maybe we do it again. Maybe there's some cyber stuff that'll come up, and we can talk more about the side of technology. But hey, listen, thanks for being here. Folks, listen, we love you being here. We know that we're always trying to find ways to share great quality content with you. So thanks for being here, listening to How's Your ePresence. If you're curious about ePresence, this is what we do. We're a full suite offer personal and company social media management. So if you're an organization, you're driving social media now for your org, your personal page is as important as it is for the organization, because you provide personal value to your org. So make sure your personal pages are active. We offer consulting, we offer training. We also have eForensics, where we analyze social media on behalf of attorneys. If you, by listening to the show, are interested in any of our services, go to our website, ePresence.me. That's ePresence.me, and hit us there. Let us know you're interested. Leverage that you listen to How's Your ePresence. We will give you a 5% discount on all of our services. Now, for this show, How's Your ePresence, we broadcast live each month on the third Thursday at 3, and you can listen to any of our shows 24/7 by going to businessradiox.com and selecting the Gwinnett Studio. How's Your ePresence is live everywhere on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we always want you to subscribe. So please subscribe to any of the channels that you're on so you get notified when we go live, and you can send us a message in the middle of a show. Later, you can catch all of our shows on podcasts. We are everywhere. And the best way to find our podcasts is go to our website. Go to ePresence.me and look for podcasts. Our website, as I've just mentioned, is ePresence.me, because it's all about you. The show is promoted by Amanda Parrish and produced by Mike Salmon. The video production assistant is our own, Morgan Wood. Until next time, for my guest, Bill Courtright, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence on Business Radio X.